Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and MLK Day, Martin Luther King Day, was just filled with just craziness and ratchetness. So at the beginning of Martin Luther King Day on the internet, this picture of Miley Cyrus twerking on Dr. King circled all over the internet, and a lot of folks were really upset. A lot of folks were really pissed off. Then if that wasn't bad enough, later on that day, this picture ended up circulating all over the internet. And I want to go ahead and shout out Yunuku and Bianca Oni. They're one of the first ones to send me this post. So this caused a lot of controversy on Twitter, on the internet. A lot of folks were really pissed off. So let me go ahead and give you guys the backstory. So the woman who's posing on this chair, her name is Dasha Zhukova. And basically she is a billionaire's girlfriend. Not millionaire, billionaire. Her billionaire boyfriend is Russian billionaire. His name is Roman Abramovich, and basically she did a modeling photo shoot sitting on a semi-nude black woman. So when this picture first hit, a lot of folks thought it was a real woman. A lot of folks were really pissed off and upset, but it ended up coming out that it was a chair. So then a lot of folks were like, oh, black folks are too sensitive and people take things too seriously. And like I said on Facebook, a picture is worth 1,000 words. You know, there was so much when I looked at that picture that I was able to just kind of break down and see where the hell they was going with it. But later on, the next day, after a bunch of backlash, Dasha decided to send out the following apology, apologizing for the picture. And to me personally, I'm not buying her apology. A picture says 1,000 words. First of all, let me go ahead and break it down to y'all. I don't agree with anyone being turned into furniture. Because if you guys don't realize, back in the day, there was a thing called a human footstool. And sometimes they used it for punishment, and sometimes they used it just because. But what they would do is take slave children that were bad or that weren't listening, and they would have them sit on all fours, and then they would just use them as a footstool. It's called the human footstool. So no, it's not an urban legend. This is something that people really did. They would use human beings as furnitures. You know, and this is just sad, and for them to have a replica of a woman as a furniture, to me, is not cool at all, and it looks so realistic. And another thing I find really crazy is the fact that the way that Dasha is dressed. She's dressed classy, she's dressed demure, she looks beautiful, she looks light and airy, but then you see this black chair, you see this black woman, she's scantily clad, she looks like a whore, she's topless, she has a weave in her head, she looks a hot mess, and then she has the nerve to be reaching her head off the ground, almost like she's looking up at her master. You know, like this whole situation just didn't sit well with me at all. And then a lot of folks are saying, well, there's a white chair. There's a white chair as well. Why are black folks getting so upset? Okay, well, that's great. I'm glad that there's a white chair. So why didn't she sit on the white chair? You know, to me, she's showing her social dominance. To me, the picture was in poor taste. And I don't care if this was a white chair or a black chair. But the fact that she chose to sit on the black chair as opposed to the white chair says a lot to me. First of all, Dasha's not just some woman, you know, who lives in the trailer park making about $10,000 a year. She is a girlfriend to a billionaire, okay? So Dasha has money, and she has dominance, and she has power. And we're not that far removed from slavery. We're not that far removed from racism. There's a lot of racism that does go on in Russia and a lot of these European countries. So I don't think it's people being sensitive. I think it was Dasha and the photographers and the magazine trying to put a subliminal image out there, and now that they don't receive backlash, all of a sudden they want to apologize. I find it funny that every few months the fashion industry does something supposedly artistic, but yet it still always has some racial aspect to it. Why not just have this pretty woman just sitting on a regular chair? Why does she need to be sitting on the chair of a black woman in a sexual position? I just find the whole message wrong. Me as a woman, even if she was sitting on the white woman chair, it would still be as disturbing, because nobody should be sitting on another human being. Why isn't the woman fully clothed? And I also wonder, does the same chair come in a man? Can we get one of a naked man sitting on his back? Or is it just women? You know, I just find the whole situation is kind of disturbing. I was not feeling the picture. And like I always say, a picture's worth 1,000 words. And they knew what they were doing when they posted that picture on Instagram. But what it is that once they got the heat, once they got the backlash, they couldn't take it. So she decided to send out that half-assed apology. And I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. So in my personal opinion, Dasha needs to have several fucking seats on a chair that doesn't resemble a black woman. How about sitting in a regular chair that's just a regular damn chair for sitting? You know, the whole thing is just crazy and disturbing. Anyways, go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire situation. How did you feel about the chair? How did you feel about the Miley Cyrus Martin Luther King picture? And how do you feel about this being blasted to the world on Martin Luther King Day? Let me know your thoughts. All right, deuces.